Hey guys, America with Extreme Terrain. In this video, we're going to do a review and install of the Supreme Suspensions 1-inch Pro Billet rear lift spacer blocks for all 2005 and later Toyota Tacomas. Now this kit is really for the Toyota Tacoma owner out there who hauls a lot of cargo on a routine basis and they want to get a little added lift for the rear end of their truck. Now most vehicles, including this Toyota Tacoma I'm standing next to, come from the factory with what we call a factory designed rake. Now what am I talking about there? I'm talking about that slightly nose down stance that your vehicle has and the rear end is lifted up a little bit. Now factories design their vehicles to have that, especially pickup trucks, because people often load them up with cargo or they attach a trailer that's going to add weight to the rear of the truck and cause the rear end to sag. So to prevent it from sagging too much, they design in that a little bit of factory rake to kind of compensate for that. Well, a lot of truck users put their trucks to work hard on a daily basis. And if you're one of those owners and you're really weighing down your truck, kind of approaching the limits of the capacity of your vehicle, you might want this kit from Supreme Suspensions. It's going to give you an added inch of lift to that rear end and really compensate for heavier loads. Now, while you might be able to use this kit in conjunction with a front end lift, if what you're going after is added overall ground clearance for your truck, or maybe put on a size up in wheel size and tire for your truck, this is really more about the utilitarian aspect of it. And this kit is really designed to go to work. You've got these quality billet aluminum spacer blocks for that rear end, as well as zinc coated steel U-bolts that's going to provide long lasting life for your Tacoma. Now, as far as leveling kits go, this one is very competitively priced at around $125. You're going to find that that's right in the ballpark there with other similar kits out there, but you really are getting some quality components like I've been talking about. And as far as the installation goes, I would give this a solid 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. We are going to have to lift the rear end of our truck a little bit and make sure that that's all secure. But with some basic tools that you probably have in your toolbox already, you should have no problem getting this job done in about 2 hours. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tools we're going to use and go ahead with the installation. All right guys, the tools we're going to use for this installation are an impact gun, 17, 19, and 22 mil sockets, a 17 millimeter crescent wrench, and a can of penetrating oil is always nice to have on hand. All right guys, before we get into the install, I just want to emphasize the fact that you need to safely lift the rear end of your Tacoma. Make sure you have some nice sturdy jack stands underneath the frame of your truck and have your floor jack mounted right underneath the pumpkin or the center of your rear axle so you can manipulate it up and down as needed, and you'll see a little bit more on that in just a minute. Where we're going to start is we're going to remove the lower bolt on our shock absorber, and then we're going to move to the 4 bolts that hold, or the 4 nuts I should say, that hold our U-bolts over top of our leaf springs. And it's a pretty straightforward uninstall, so let's get to it. All right, to get this bolt out, you're going to need a 17 millimeter crescent and a 17 millimeter socket. Depending on the condition of your truck, you might want to give it a shot of PB Blaster if you've got a lot of rust built up on there. And depending on what your shock is doing to you here, you might need to manipulate your axle up and down with your jack. But as you can see, we got our bolt out, no problem. Now at this step, you absolutely have to have your axle supported by your floor jack before you start undoing the nuts here, because that's what's really holding your axle up to the leaf springs are these 2 U-bolts. So to get at these, we're going to use a 19 millimeter socket for the factory hardware. And again, you can see ours are pretty rusty there. We work on these trucks an awful lot, so this kind of came right off, but you're probably going to want to shoot some penetrating oil on there to get yourself started. Once you get one off, go ahead and go across to the other one. I like to stick to a crossing pattern like that. It's not as important in the uninstall, but when we start installing the new stuff, it is definitely more important so that you get an even fit with this bracket going up to the axle. As you can see, this bracket wants to come down, so go ahead and support it with your offhand while you get the last bolt off. All right, we're going to take our U-bolts out. They just slide up and over. Then you can go ahead and repeat these steps on the passenger side of your truck. Now, if you guys are doing this at home and you are manipulating your axle with a floor jack, you're gonna have both sides obviously lowering at the same time. Now I have pull jacks here, so I'm gonna lower the driver's side down just enough so we can take our brand new billet aluminum block and slide it up into place. And as you can see, the pin here, that's gonna go this side down, and that'll drop you into a hole that's on this pedestal right here on the top of your axle. And the little nub on the underside of the leaf spring will drop right into this hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower this axle gently on this side, just enough so I can get this in place. As you can see, when that drops into place, it's good and secure, so we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the passenger side. All right, once you have your blocks in and you have your axle up so you don't see any more daylight in between the blocks and the pedestal or the blocks and the leaf spring, go ahead and grab your new U-bolts and slide them in over the top. Now there's a little lip up there that's gonna kind of hold the bolt in just like that. Make sure you're sliding it in like that, and that's gonna position this properly so when we bolt up that bracket again, everything fits nice. All right, go ahead and grab your factory bracket and line it up here with the U-bolts. U-bolts are probably gonna be spread out a little bit towards the bottom here, so you're just gonna need to pinch them to get it seated. Nice thing about that is it puts a little tension on it and allows it to hang there so you don't have to hold it in place constantly. And we're gonna go ahead and get the other one started. And what you're looking to do at this point is make sure that they're kind of even, that the lengths of the U-bolts that are coming through the bracket there are more or less even. You don't want one side too long than the other. That means the bracket is not sitting flush. It might be kinked, and that would not be good as you're traveling down the road. You want this to be good and tight. So once you have that kind of cinched up, go ahead and grab the nuts and washers that go ahead and grab the nuts and washers that come with the kit. All right, go ahead and grab a couple of nuts and washers. Just get them started. My hand right now. And if you do one here, go ahead to the opposite corner. I mean, at this point, I'm tightening them up by hand, so it's not super important. I just like to get in the habit of doing that. So when I'm tightening this up with the power tool, I'm doing the same thing. It's also much nicer to work with brand new hardware. It's not all caked with rust, and things spin a lot easier. All right, so go ahead and grab your power tool and we'll tighten these up. If you haven't already noticed, guys, the hardware, the U-bolts and the nuts that come with this kit are a lot thicker and beefier than your factory components. You're gonna have to grab a 22 mil socket to fit on these nuts. And that's the only reason I'm switching over to my pneumatic impact gun, is because the only socket I have that'll fit this is for my impact, so we're gonna tighten those up. I'm just doing it gently right now. Like I said, you want to make sure it goes up evenly, so you don't want to over tighten one corner, and that's going to make the other side pop down a little bit. So just use some trigger control and do it nice and slow. Okay, after you get this all cinched up, go ahead and maneuver your shock into place. depending on how much play you have. In your shock absorber, you might be able to do it by hand. This is a little stubborn for me, so what you're going to want to do is probably lift your axle up a little bit, just so you can get these holes to line up. And then we're going to reuse our factory hardware. And again, go ahead and grab your 17 mil crescent and a 17 mil socket. Then you can go ahead and take care of this hardware and these steps over on the passenger side. All right guys, that wraps up this review and install of the Supreme Suspensions 1-inch Pro Billet Lift Kit in black for all 2005 and later Toyota Tacomas. For all things Tacoma, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.